On October 2nd, the UN broker truce agreed upon in April expired without any further agreement to extend it. This decision has the potential to plunge Yemen back into a cycle of bloodshed, after the longest period of calm the country has experienced since the conflict began in 2015. Firmly supported by UN Special Envoy Hans Grunberg, the ceasefire initially allowed the partial opening of the Houthi-controlled Sana'a airport, as well as the Red Sea port of Hodeidah, and sought to relieve the Houthi blockade on Taiz, the country's third biggest city. Despite limited progress on some fronts and claims of breaches of the agreement by both sides, the truce has resulted in a substantial decrease in fighting within the country, resulting in a drastic reduction in casualties and displacement. However, without an extension of the ceasefire, it will be impossible to fully capitalize on the gains made thus far. While discussions continue, both parties blame one another for allowing the agreement to expire. Yemen's government blames the Houthis, who have also rejected Grunberg's recent request to extend the ceasefire for 6 months. The Iran-backed Houthis, meanwhile, believe that many of its requests have gone unanswered, beginning with the unconditional reopening of the Sana'a airport and the total lifting of the blockade on Hodeidah. Another source of contention was the group's demand for payment to public officials in regions under its control. This request had previously stalled owing to difficulty in finding an appropriate mechanism for such payments. The failure to prolong the ceasefire in Yemen will have disastrous humanitarian ramifications. Returning to a war would certainly reverse small yet substantial improvements, resulting in further airstrikes, civilian casualties, internal displacement, and additional limitation on the provision of much-needed humanitarian aid. Without the truce, fuel shipments into Yemen's north will most certainly be interrupted, adding to an increase in food and other commodity prices that are vital to resolving Yemen's food security issue. The inability to extend the ceasefire or develop a lasting truce represents a severe setback for Yemeni peace efforts, despite ongoing regional and international diplomatic efforts. If the escalation is the only remaining course of action at this stage, the focus is on keeping all channels of communication open in the absence of such an agreement.